Hey guys, Scott here with a new beer dissection video for you tonight. What I'm going to be reviewing today is probably something that is not too unfamiliar to most of you. Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA. I like to always balance my reviews of some small micro nano breweries with some bigger commercial macro lagers, and as well as some of these in-between breweries that have been producing pretty consistent beer over the years. This one in particular I haven't had in probably 2 or 3 years. I've had it before, but it's been quite a while. Dogfish Head is, if you're not familiar, is out of Milton, Delaware, I believe. They may have they were bought out by AB InBev 2, 3, 4 years ago. Don't hold me to the exact amount of years, but they were bought out by them, so they've been probably producing beer from other satellite breweries, as far as I know. And they have a series of beers. They have the 60-minute, which I'm going to review tonight. They have a 90-minute and a 120-minute. Now, it's kind of a little bit of a misnomer because, and I'll get to that in a second, but the 60-minute and the 90-minute and the 120 is really corresponding to the IBU units. Remember, International Bitterness units for all these beers. And I think I looked real quickly on their website. They try to say with the 60-minute that there's 60 hop additions in the 60-minute boil. Well, first of all, most beers are only boiled for an hour anyway, sometimes 90 minutes. So saying, it's for the entire boil. The other thing is 60 additions. Usually there's 3 or 4 additions and maybe a dry hop addition. 60 is a lot. Usually you put the hops in the beginning of the boil, 15, 20 minutes towards the end, and then you'll have at the end of the boil in a whirlpool and or a dry hopping. So if you wanted to say it was being hopped, 3, 4, 5, 6 times during the course of from the boil to actually packaging, that's possible. But 60 hop additions, I'm not quite sure, what that really means. But anyway, I won't split hairs too much with it. But so this one is, I believe, more of a West Coast IPA. So we're going to be looking at more Pacific Northwest hops. I didn't get exactly what hops they're using, but I'm presuming it's going to be like your Siege, your Cascade, your Centennial, your Columbus. We're probably going to get some citrus, piney aromas as well as flavors. And remember, with the West Coast IPA, it's going to be a little bit more bitter than, say, your New England IPA, which is going to be more biased towards flavor and aroma hops and less bitterness. And kind of your American IPAs in between. It's a little more bitter than New England IPA. May or may not be as bitter as a West Coast IPA, but those hops will probably give you a lot more fruit character, tropical fruit, stone fruit, things like that. Okay, so this one's at 6% alcohol, 60 IBUs, hence 60-minute IPA. Again, I don't know why they're using minutes. They're using a lot of hops, so I don't know if it's a marketing kitschy type of thing, but whatever it may be. I have good memories of this beer, but again, it's been quite a while since I've had it. Okay, so let's crack this bad boy open here. All right, and like most IPAs, I try to use my, one of my tulips or snifters or oversized snifters is always recommended. Okay, so what do we got here? Wow, perfectly clear. Okay, kind of a medium to dark gold color. Depending on where I put the glass, maybe you get a light amber, but on my perspective here live is a little more on a medium gold, but perfectly clear, no chill haze at all. About an inch and a half of foam, but a lot of times that is dependent on how I'm pouring it. Many times white, pretty tight bubbles, very pretty looking beer. Okay, so let me take a smell of the aroma. Yeah. So yeah, you get that piney, pine needle type of aroma. Light grapefruit, but I get more of the pine needle, maybe a little resiny. Sometimes resiny will describe it kind of like a marijuana type of smell or a nature kind of smell. But very nice, but definitely piney. Slight citrus, slight grapefruit. Again, malt profile, that typical, bread crust, maybe light graham cracker type of smell. I'm expecting it when I taste it, but it smells very nice. Okay, so there we go again. So cheers. Oh, very nice. I'm just letting the bitterness hit me a little bit here. Again, it's at 60 IBUs. So we're getting into that IPA, double IPA range. So definitely well carbonated, medium to high carbonation. The bitterness is definitely pronounced to assertive bitterness. I still get that piney taste, like I got in the aroma. Still that bread crust, graham cracker, light toast type of malt profile in this. Very nice, very sharp, crisp beer. Very effervescent. Really no alcohol warmth. Around 6%. I usually don't get it anyway. The aftertaste, I maybe get a little bit more of the little bit of that citrus grapefruit more than the pine on the aftertaste. But the beer holds up well, on your palate. Like I said, the carbonation is pretty medium to high. No astringency at all. Very crisp, very clean tasting. Even at 6, we're not getting too high yet, but it's starting to get pushing the limits. You'll probably want to drink these carefully if you're having more than one. Something like this would pair good with some hard rind cheeses, cheddar cheese, like typical IPAs, even some blue cheese, which is a classic pairing. I would also do this with some Spanish dishes. Even some, I'd be careful with salmon dishes with this, with the assertiveness, with the bitterness. Sometimes it can give you a metallic taste with the really strong, pungent fishes. But barbecue, ribs, chicken, grilled chicken with barbecue sauce, even Jamaican jerk type of dishes, this beer would hold up really nice with it. But yeah, this really is drinking nice. I mean, good memories with this. Dogfish Head, with their 60, their 90, and their 120, I really don't think you can be disappointed with any of them. I'm trying to think of how many other. They have a barrel-aged stout and things like this. This one's drinking really nice. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this one. I would definitely give this for a American IPA, West Coast, a good solid B+, maybe A- range. You really can't go wrong with this. Some people give them a bad rap because if they did sell their brewery to AB InBev, some people get bent out of shape. I don't think it's affected their quality, at least in this beer. And that's it. So again, I would recommend this to you guys again. The 60-minute IPA Dogfish Head. It's not a real novel beer. You've probably had it, but if you're like me, you may not have had it in a while. I actually kind of prefer the 60-minute over the 120. Sometimes these 120s or these beers that are like, hopped and they're so bitter, they're at 100 IBUs or they're at 9% alcohol, you just can't consume more than one. It's very cloying and just a little bit too over the top. These nice 60-minute are like kind of nice everyday beers, nice, solid, consistent IPA. All right, guys, so hopefully that, kind of made you revisit this beer and it maybe is a new varietal to take a look at in the store for those of you who haven't had this. But you can find this in most grocery store. I think I got this at a grocery store locally. So anyway, guys, until the next beer dissection, have a great night. Take care.